Welcome back, Aces, to another X-Wing Battle Report. I'm Brian.
And I'm Ethan. Today we have Matt with a Trandoshan Slaver with Outlaw Tech, K4, and Greedo. Guri with Glitterstim, Fire Control System, Title, Auto Thrusters, and Push the Limit. Nadru with Glitterstim, Cluster Missiles, and Lone Wolf.
And I am flying Commander Kenkirk with Emperor Palpatine, Isard, Push the Limit, and Engine Upgrade. Lieutenant Colzet with a Sensor Jammer and Wampa.
So yeah, relying on that Palpatine modification for this list to kind of work out.
Yeah, I really like it. It's kind of cool. I didn't really get to use it as much as I would have liked to in this one, but being able to have one of Wampa's dice always be a crit, forcing it in and using Colzet to spend his target lock to flip it face up, I think is a really cool combo. I just didn't have enough points. I kind of wanted to get the advanced targeting computer on Colzet, but I couldn't really shave off a point anywhere.
Well, in general, I think we kind of avoid gimmick lists or lists that rely on multiple ships interacting with one another, but I think in this case the Decimator does have enough survivability when it's Kenkirk and Isard to really be a capable support ship.
Yeah, at the last Store Champs, one of my buddies, Aaron, was flying a similar list with an Expose Shiranu and Colzet with advanced targeting computer, and did pretty good for him. He did pretty well.
Here we have Lone Wolfing Nadru with cluster missiles, so four dice twice is pretty scary, especially when you're Glitterstim, so you get super focus.
Doing 8 damage to the Decimator in the opening shots, it's pretty amazing. Threw me on tilt right away with Kenkirk.
Low 4 hits, pretty good roll.
Yep, and those Glitterstims picking up 2 evades for Nadru as well.
Guri correctly targets Wampa as the most significant threat here.
Yeah, Wampa without any upgrades is not terribly survivable, but being able to Palpatine and evade in right here happens a couple of times in this one, I think.
Now you went for the Sensor Jammer for free on Colzet, probably to increase his survivability, but what do you think about using the Accuracy Corrector instead, just so that he does have some kind of like consistent damage output?
It's not bad. I kind of figured with Sensor Jammer, Colzet would probably be the last thing alive, and with Sensor Jammer he's fairly survivable. So I kind of wanted to have at least one more survivable ship out there, and Emperor Palpatine being a huge target. I like him on Kenkirk, because if Kenkirk is the last thing alive, his 1 evade dice, he can almost always guarantee that he's going to have at least 2 evades with the Isard's token.
Certainly is a very annoying ship to fight against.
Especially being able to boost, get out of arcs.
That is the thing I hate the most. Especially because it happens at the beginning of the combat phase, so
yeah.
It's essentially pilot skill higher than you.
Yep. The arc-dodging Decimator.
Here we have, we can see the PTL on Guri. I tend to avoid PTL because I think that the Star Viper its dial isn't quite right for PTL, I think. And I think that if you do use PTL, you miss out on a lot of those really nice white maneuvers, like that one hard turn and a lot of the 2 maneuvers.
I don't mind PTL on her. I think Guri plays a really good role at blocking aces, except in this matchup there's no real aces, so she's just a real arc-dodging threat for those lower pilot skill guys. But I think PTL's fine on her. I mean, any ship with boost and barrel roll and PTL is really solid, and a 1 bank with boosting and barrel roll, I mean, and Guri's gonna get a free focus because she can get into range 1 and she can get those tricky places that she needs to. I mean, the big thing with her, I think, is overcoming the necessity of pushing. You don't need to push all the time. You know, when do you use your dial and when do you push for extra actions.
Yeah, but I think it's nice to see Guri on the field because you tend to see a lot of different kind of EPTs on her, just because people do tend to avoid that that push the limit build.
Mm-hmm.
Because her lower pilot skill does mean that boost barrel roll doesn't have quite the same effectiveness as it would on, say, a Fel or a Vader. Well, that would be silly too.
Yeah. And Kenkirk finishing off Nadru there.
Poor Nadru. Never lives very long.
He did his work.
He certainly did.
Shot from Guri. Managed to use Emperor Palpatine to flip his 1 evade dice to an evade, taking 3 from Guri. And crit on Colzet. Looks like he's rolling 1 fewer agility die. Or no, that was the double damage on from that Trandoshan.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen shots on Colzet just yet. Kenkirk is in the sights of everyone and is a pretty big threat as a result.
Yeah, Matt wisely going after Palpatine right away, trying to get my gimmick off the board and trying to get that survivable decimator, just get it erased.
And actually, Wampa hasn't had too many opportunities to shoot thus far, so it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But always impressive sloop from Guri.
That 3 sloop's real hot.
And we have a bump, sadly, which is I think Matt's goal. But honestly, I think it might have been better for Matt to stay back and hold with the Trandoshan just so that he could shoot with both ships on Kenkirk at this time. I mean, I think denying actions is a little hard when you get a free action in the middle of the combat phase, so you might as well try and get as many dice as possible.
I think with Guri on that sloop, I think either one of my big banks was gonna cause a bump, and I'd still have a 3 dice ship going against him. Fortunately, don't think he got any damage through.
Well, Guri's out of shields and has damage on her. I don't think he came out of that exchange looking too pretty.
No, even with auto thrusters.
But when you're rolling 4 dice, it's hard to dodge it all.
Yep. Here we got Colzet with his mighty 2 attack die. Trandoshan opening up on him in response. Getting a hit and a crit, or 2 and a crit through.
On Wampa, it looks like, from the range.
Oh, that was on Wampa, yeah. Trying to get some damage through. Looks like that Trandoshan just went for a bump and got the target lock on Wampa with that K4.
Which is such a great upgrade. It's so fantastic to have the ability to passively gain actions. It's really strong.
Yeah, I like the YV with the K4 and Outlaw tech. Almost regardless of what you're doing, you're at least getting a focus or a target lock every turn.
And yeah, that's really strong. Especially like it on a higher pilot skill like Bosk.
Yeah.
It's really devastating.
Tactician's really solid on those guys too.
Yeah.
Having a 180-degree arc of stress is pretty huge.
As you pointed out, it's any arc, so auxiliary arcs do count for the use of Tactician, so that 180 of the YV666 is huge for dealing out stress.
Yeah.
Might actually make a good counter to this Kenkirk list.
Yeah.
Just being able to hand out stress like that.
It's stressed Kenkirk, not getting his evade, not being able to use his push.
Well, especially because it changes how the Decimator wants to maneuver. I mean, it does have an excellent dial, no red maneuvers, and a ton of green, but if you can make a ship more predictable, you know, more better for you.
Yep.
Here, I think we're just seeing just the kind of consistent damage output of a Emperor Palpatine list against the kind of low agility Trandoshan. It just doesn't stand much of a chance.
Yeah.
And here, I think there was some debate about the sensor jammer use, but
yeah,
Guri had a focus token, so she just spent it. And
yeah, Matt wasn't really sure how the triggers worked for modifying your opponent's attack dice. But you get the sensor jammer off before he uses the focus, and he uses the focus anyway, but more so I'm just reminding myself I have sensor jammer.
Well, the rule is the other guy always gets to modify your dice first.
Yeah.
I think, you know.
There we go, 4 dice into Colzet. Getting 1 crit through. And that's the 1 less agility. Colzet flipping up that crit on the Trandoshan, and it looks like all of his damage cards are dealt face up.
Not what you want to see on any low agility ship.
Makes Colzet's job that much easier. I was really hoping that that Trandoshan would have moved.
Being able to stay still for the Trandoshan, that's such an excellent power. I really love the YV.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's such a great ship. I'm really glad we're starting to see more of it in the meta.
Yeah, getting that focus on top of it. And Wampa desperately trying to get Arc on Guri.
But it is not to be. Guri doesn't want to be seen. It's a real task. I mean, any ship with boost barrel roll and higher pilot skill, it's a real chore to be able to see those ships.
Yeah, and Matt's really good at those maneuvers too. He plays them very well.
Yeah, he got to start with the early interceptor builds, and yeah, ever since he's just been really on point with those kinds of maneuvers.
Kenkirk switching his target lock over to that Trandoshan, getting his evade, pushing off of that for a focus. Gets that target lock for 3 hits in.
Well, and the guaranteed ability of Palpatine, especially when you're not taking that much hate in return, just unfortunate.
Yeah. Palpatine.
I think this just goes to show you that you need to focus down Kenkirk or the Palpatine transport first thing no matter what. Guri should not be chasing Colzet right now. Guri has to be on Kenkirk, even if that opens her up to being shot at by Wampa. You have to kill Kenkirk or really nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
Nothing good for you anyways.
Been able to use Palpatine defensively very effectively so far.
He is a very versatile choice. I still think he's a little too expensive, but certainly he has proven himself worth the points in this battle.
Yeah, I really want to try this Kenkirk Palpatine build with something else. I'm not sure what else I want to throw with it, but
I think it might be worth just sort of ignoring Palpatine instead of building around him, instead of building, Wampa, Colzet, trying to go off of that. Just sort of accepting him as sort of like a bonus, and then taking other good ships in combination, and then just sort of using Palpatine to his natural effect.
I'm gonna play around with some of the new TIE FOs and see what I can get in the mix.
Certainly, the new UFOs are very exciting and different than the norm. I think this is a really sad moment for you. Guri fits and is then able to barrel roll just behind that.
So disheartening. Oh. Being able to pull off that barrel roll too. If I was mad, I'd be dancing too. Another 3 damage from the Palpatine.
And the last crit is can't shoot. It's just the worst. Just the worst. I think that Trandoshan really needed to be able to fire. So even the loss of Colzet, I think this round still goes to you.
Oh yeah. Better lucky than good.
That Trandoshan might have been able to put enough damage through. At range 2. Might have been able to put enough damage to maybe get that crit double damage.
Yeah, I think Kenkirk's down to 2 hull now. Trying to get in there with Wampa, trying to debate what he did. And looks like he swoops just to the side of him. That swoop is so strong.
It's such a great maneuver, and it really makes the predictability of the Star Viper pretty low. It's hard to track him down.
Alright, we got a big roll from Guri on Wampa here. Looks like he's got 3 up. I can either use Palpatine defensively there and save him, or use him offensively and at least get 1 damage in. And he chose to go defensively, keeping Wampa alive and keeping him a threat. I think is the right choice.
And in the worst luck possible, the Trandoshan kills himself
by
bumping and landing on the debris field and rolling a crit. That's just tragic.
I think that's happened to everyone at least once.
Probably.
Some people more than others.
Here Matt decides to cut in towards the board edge in an effort to get out of arc of Wampa. I think if he had instead gone the opposite direction, remained in arc and cut forward, he might have gotten some choice shots on Kenkirk, maybe taken him out before her hull was too low, and that might have made the difference.
It could have. I mean, it's tough to say. Probably would have been at range 3 of Wampa, which doesn't really matter. Would have been able to
Guri would have fired first. So she might have forced.
Wampa, she would have been able to kill.
Well, she might have been forced, but at least forced the Palpatine use defensively for Kenkirk, which means that you're relying on luck to roll that crit for Wampa. So
yeah, I don't know. It's a tough call.
It is a tough call. Although I will say, I think that Guri's next maneuver is pretty interesting as far as I'm concerned. Going forward 3 here, real risky. Could have flown off the board, that's the thing. And then really just leaving himself in a kind of weird position here next to the board edge really limits the amount of maneuvers that he has to counter Kenkirk's maneuvers. But
looks like it paid off. He's out of range of Wampa there, and looks like he's got range 3 shots on Kenkirk. He just needs to capitalize and make the best of it.
True. But it's hard to do that with no dice mods.
Yeah.
Yeah, and range 3, there's no chance.
2 in with Palpatine and an evade token.
And a focus.
Wampa swooping in, going for the kill.
Determined to get at least 1 shot this game.
Matt's in a real tough spot here. I mean, he can go for the bump on the Decimator and prolong it out. Otherwise, it looks like he tries to get out of range of Wampa. Wampa's going to be guaranteed to at least deal a damage if Wampa's got range. But then you're taking a Decimator at range 1.
Yeah, I definitely think when you have enough hull to withstand a single damage, Wampa is a lot more preferable than Kenkirk range 1 with all of the tokens, all of the stuff, and Palpatine. It's unfortunate, but I think this was an error.
Well, thanks for watching, guys, and don't forget to hit that like button. We'll get some more X-Wing videos out here for you, and don't forget to subscribe. And if you guys got a list that you'd like to see on here, go ahead and post it in the comments, and we'll try and get it up for you.